Have you ever wondered what happens to couples when they grow older? Like, do they still hold hands the way they did when they were young? Do they still cuddle up on the couch? Do they still sneak a kiss when no one is watching? Because let's be honest, when we're young, we assume romance is something fiery, loud, and always on display. But as people age, we sometimes imagine it fades into the background, replaced by routine, comfort, or even silence. But here's the truth. Love doesn't exactly retire, and kissing, yes, that simple, sweet, sometimes fiery act doesn't just vanish because the years roll on. In fact, for so many older couples, a kiss becomes even more meaningful, more layered with history, with memory, with a kind of tenderness that younger people are still chasing. Think about it. When you're young, a kiss can be a spark, a start, a test, even a thrill. But when you're older and you've spent decades with someone, a kiss can be a reminder of the very first time you leaned in nervously, of the day you said "I do," of the countless quiet nights where nothing mattered more than the person sitting beside you. And yes, older couples still kiss, maybe not with the urgency of teenagers making out in the back of a car, but in their own way they absolutely do. And that, honestly, is even more powerful. Now picture this, an older couple walking in the park. He's got a little gray in his beard, she's got laugh lines etched like stories across her face, and after decades of being together, she still tucks her hand into his. At one point, he pauses, leans down, and gives her a soft kiss on the forehead. Not a long one, not some dramatic movie scene, but that tiny gesture speaks louder than 1,000 words. And people might not notice, or they might smile if they do, but what matters is what that moment means to them. Because that one small kiss carries the weight of years of fights survived, kids raised, bills paid, dreams shared, and losses grieved together. And let's be real, kissing doesn't have an expiration date. Sure, the way older couples kiss might change. They might not be making out in public like two college kids at a party, but that doesn't mean passion disappears. Sometimes it becomes quieter, more subtle. A peck before bed, a kiss while one of them is cooking, a quick brush of lips in the middle of a grocery store aisle when no one's looking. Or maybe it's just sitting close, holding hands and leaning in every once in a while with that same spark they've always had, but softer, more seasoned, and somehow more real. But here's where it gets fun. Older couples sometimes surprise you. You might see grandparents at a wedding tearing up the dance floor, and then bam, they kiss like it's prom night all over again. People cheer, laugh, clap because it's unexpected, but also heartwarming. And that's the thing about love at an older age. It's not dead, it's not dry, it's just different. And when it shows up, it has a way of stealing the spotlight without even trying. Now let's dig into something deeper here. When you ask, do older couples still kiss? What you're really asking is, does romance still exist after decades of routine? And the answer is absolutely yes. Romance doesn't have to look like a Nicholas Sparks movie to be real. Sometimes romance is a husband remembering to bring his wife tea without her asking. Sometimes it's a wife reminding her husband to wear a sweater because she knows he'll get cold. And sometimes it's the tiniest kiss that says, "I see you, I choose you," even after all these years. And I think part of the reason people wonder about older couples kissing is because society doesn't always show it. Movies, TV shows, even ads, they focus on young love, dramatic love, flashy love. The older generation gets shown as settled, practical, or past that stage. But let's not forget, these are the same people who invented the love songs, the dances, the traditions that younger people copy today. They've kissed under disco balls, in movie theaters, in old cars, and in kitchens, late at night when no one was watching. Just because they've aged doesn't mean that part of them disappeared. If anything, it matured, it grew, it deepened. And let's be honest, sometimes older couples kiss more meaningfully than younger ones. Why? Because they don't take it for granted. They know how fragile life is, how fast time moves, and how important it is to treasure little moments. A kiss at 70 might mean more than a kiss at 20, because at 70 you've seen storms, you've walked through valleys, and every kiss is proof you're still walking together. Imagine this. An older husband comes home, sets down the groceries, and before doing anything else, he leans over to give his wife a kiss. She rolls her eyes a little, maybe teases him about forgetting the milk, but she smiles. That smile, that's decades of love in action. And when people say, do older couples still kiss? I think about moments like that. Because yes, they do. And sometimes those kisses are the glue that still holds everything together. And you know what's funny? A lot of older couples don't even realize how romantic they are. To them, it's just normal. It's just what they do. But to younger people watching, it can be inspiring. Because it shows that love doesn't have to fade, that intimacy doesn't have to disappear, that life doesn't have to become dull just because you've been together forever. If anything, it shows that love gets better with age, like a fine wine or a favorite song that never loses its magic. So yes, older couples still kiss. Maybe not in the same way they once did, maybe not as often in public, but those kisses are still there, carrying more weight, more tenderness, and more history than ever. And when you really think about it, that's kind of beautiful. Because kissing isn't just about lips meeting, it's about connection, about saying without words, you matter to me, still, always. And honestly, isn't that what we're all hoping for in the end? To find someone you can still kiss after decades, someone who still makes you smile, someone who still makes your heart race in quiet little ways. That's the dream, that's the answer. Older couples don't just still kiss, they show us why it matters. So let's pick this back up, because the real magic of older couples kissing isn't just in the act itself, but in everything that leads up to it. Think about it. When you're older, every kiss is sitting on top of years of stories. A kiss after 40 years of marriage isn't just a kiss. It's layered with all the times you laughed together, fought, forgave, celebrated, struggled, and just kept choosing each other. Every single kiss becomes a time capsule, holding pieces of your shared life. And that's something you just don't fully understand until you've lived it. Picture an old couple sitting on their porch swing at sunset. They're not talking much, just rocking gently, watching the world move slower than it used to. Then, out of nowhere, one of them leans over and plants the softest kiss on the other's lips. No words, no explanation, just that kiss. And in that tiny moment, you can almost feel the weight of years, of unspoken promises, of the comfort of knowing someone's been by your side through everything. That's not just romance, that's survival, that's devotion, that's love in its truest, simplest form. And here's the thing, older couples kissing often surprises people. Maybe because society tries to box love into a timeline. Wild passion when you're young, stability when you're middle-aged, and then what? Nothing? But life doesn't really work that way. I've seen couples in their 70s and 80s who are more affectionate than couples in their 20s. Why? Because they don't care what anyone thinks anymore. They don't kiss to look cute for Instagram. They kiss because they genuinely want to, because it feels good, because love is still alive. And don't get it twisted, sometimes older couples can be downright flirty. They might tease each other, steal kisses in the kitchen, or even embarrass their kids and grandkids by showing affection in public. And while younger people might laugh or cringe, deep down they're usually thinking, wow, I hope I still have that kind of love someday. Because isn't that the goal, to keep that spark alive so long that people can't help but notice it? Now here's another angle. Do older couples kiss the way they did when they were young? Probably not. But here's what makes it better. They kiss with more intention. When you're 20, you kiss because you're excited, because you're curious, because you're caught up in the thrill. When you're 70, you kiss because you know how much that person means to you, how rare that kind of connection is, how short and precious time really is. Every kiss is a little prayer, a little thank you, a little anchor in a world that keeps changing. And honestly, we don't celebrate that enough. We throw wedding parties when people start their journey of love, but maybe we should be celebrating the couples who've been kissing for decades and still haven't stopped. Maybe anniversaries should come with applause, not just for surviving, but for still loving in ways that matter. Because yes, older couples still kiss, and when they do, it's a reminder to everyone watching that love doesn't have to fade. It can grow, it can deepen, it can stay sweet. Let me tell you a little story. There was this old man who used to visit his wife every day in the nursing home. She had dementia, and most days she didn't even remember who he was. But every single day he would sit with her, talk to her, and before leaving he'd kiss her on the cheek. Someone asked him once why he kept doing it if she didn't remember, and he smiled and said, because I remember. That right there is love. That's what a kiss really means. Not just a spark, but a promise. And it proves beyond any doubt that older couples don't stop kissing. They just kiss for deeper reasons. And let's not forget the humor in all this, because older couples often have a playful way of keeping romance alive. You might hear one say, come on, give me a kiss before you go, and the other might laugh, roll their eyes, but still lean in. Or maybe one sneaks a kiss in public just to make the other blush, even after decades together. It's not about fireworks anymore, it's about fun, about keeping things light, about reminding each other we've still got it.
And trust me, those moments are just as romantic as any grand gesture. And if we're being really honest, older couples kissing is inspiring. It's proof that love isn't just for the young, that passion doesn't have an expiration date, that affection isn't just a phase. It's proof that even as life throws challenges, aging, loss, and change your way, love can still stand tall, lips can still meet, and hearts can still race a little faster. So when people ask, do older couples still kiss? The answer is not just yes, it's a bigger yes than you might expect. Because those kisses are living proof that love is timeless. They're the kind of kisses that show us what we're all searching for. A partner who will still lean in, still smile, still make us feel seen, even after the world has tried to wear us down. And that brings me to you. Yes, you watching this right now. Maybe you're young and dreaming about finding someone to grow old with. Maybe you're in a relationship right now, wondering if it'll last. Or maybe you're already in that older stage of life, and you're smiling because you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wherever you are, remember this: love doesn't end when wrinkles show up, when hair turns gray, or when the candles on the cake get harder to count. Love can last, affection can last, and yes, kisses can last. So maybe the next time you see an older couple, don't assume their romance has faded. Look a little closer. You might catch that quick kiss, that gentle forehead touch, that warm smile that says more than words ever could. And maybe, just maybe, it'll give you hope that real love still exists. And if you're lucky enough to already have someone you love, let this be your reminder. Don't stop kissing. Don't stop showing affection. Don't let time or routine steal the small gestures that mean the most. Because one day when you're older, those kisses will be the thing that keeps you connected, the thing that reminds you of everything you've built together. So yes, older couples still kiss. They kiss with love, with laughter, with history, with hope. They kiss in kitchens, on porches, in hospitals, in grocery store aisles, in quiet moments when no one's watching. They kiss because even after all these years, they still choose each other. And honestly, that's the most romantic thing in the world. And before you click away, let me leave you with this. Don't wait until you're older to appreciate the power of a kiss. Start now. Kiss your partner like it matters. Kiss them when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're tired, when you're celebrating. Kiss them when you have nothing to say, because one day, those kisses will be the story you tell without even speaking.
And hey, if you enjoyed this little journey into love, affection, and timeless romance, do me a favor. Hit that like button, drop a comment about the most heartwarming older couple you've seen, and don't forget to subscribe for more conversations like this, because love deserves to be talked about, celebrated, and shared. And maybe, just maybe, the next time someone asks you, do older couples still kiss, you'll smile and say, of course they do, and that's the most beautiful part.